So temptations is part of our everyday life. How many of you here are not being tempted in any way? I guess all of us are being tempted. Well, Jesus was tempted, right? Not just the 40 days when he was in the desert. Throughout his life, he was tempted. And I talk about the pernicious 4 P's. Do you remember that? The 4 P's? Okay. The first one is possession. Second one is pleasure. The third one is power. And the fourth one is prestige. Whenever we're tempted, it's always tempting us to doubt God's love. And whenever we fall into that temptation and commit sin, it's always underneath that is a lack of trust in God. Lack in trust of God's love, lack in trust of God's mercy, lack in trust in God's providence and also God's plan for our life. For me, I get tempted. And whenever I get tempted, I always ask myself and say this prayer, Lord, whatever I'm looking for in this temptation, let me find it in you. Because ultimately, it's God who could really provide for us. Like what we're looking for in all these things of this world couldn't satisfy the desires of our heart. It's only God who could satisfy it. Now, whenever we're being tempted, it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and He will not let you be tempted beyond your strength. But with the temptation will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. Okay, so here it's the Lord is telling us that He will give us the strength, and He will also provide a way out. Okay. The strength, it's in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. The grace is always there. Grace is power. But maybe we ask ourselves, well, if the grace is there, why do I always fall to this temptation? It's not because the grace is not there. It's because you did not rely on that grace. You relied on yourself because you did not trust God. That's why you relied on yourself. And you know you're weak in this temptation. That's why you fell. And He always provides a way out. Whenever you're being tempted on this, there's a thought that comes to you, get out of that occasions of sin. And yet, what do we do whenever we're being prompted by the Lord, by our guardian angel, to flee? What do? And many times, we think that, I could handle this. And every time we think that way, we fall to temptation. St. John of Avila wrote this: the Lord does not allow His followers to experience these trials and temptations unless it be for their greater good. He disposed things in this way: endurance in adversity and struggle against temptation prove who His friends are. For the mark of a true friend is not that he keeps you company when times are good, but that he stands by you in times of trial. Are we a true friend of our Lord? This is why we're being tested. We're being tested, we're being tempted to know if we truly love Him. Whenever we're being tempted, see it as an opportunity for us to show our love for Him. And endure, persevere in times of temptation. Because whenever we persevere, the promise in James chapter 1 verse 12 comes true. Blessed is anyone who endures temptation. Such a one has stood the test and will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him.